everyone, I'm Sophie and I'm currently heading up the Leatham Valley in New Zealand for a few days exploring some new country on horseback. Alright, well that's the end of our four-wheel drive track, so now the real adventure begins. So I've made it to our parking spot. I stopped at the first ford, it was a bit too rough to get my big horse float through, and found a lovely paddock with these great farm owners that have let us park up in here, so that's perfect. Now we'll get everybody tacked up. It's going to be a perfect day out here. I am looking forward to getting out into some new country. Alright, it took a little longer than planned for us to get organised, but we are finally on our way. We probably won't make it very far before we have to set up camp for the night. This is my brother Tim. Say hi, Tim.
Hey.
So Tim hasn't ridden in years and never out like this before, but he's on board my stallion Obi and will be our brave leaders since I've got two young ones, and at least I won't miss him with that helmet on. The plan for this trip is basically just to explore some new country. I haven't been able to find much information on this area through here, so I really don't know what is possible with a horse. So we'll see how far we make it, but the plan is to get right up the head of the valley to the top Leatham hut, and then we'll probably leave the horses there and carry on foot and get up to the top of the Severn Saddle, maybe just for a good view, but hopefully to come back there at some point and be able to do the crossing on the horses. It's a bit windy up on the river. It does. So this is maybe my fourth or fifth ride on tank here. If you've seen my last video, then you know that this is how I like to start them on the saddle. Just take them out and expose them to the world and have some fun and put some good miles on them. So I generally try and do this with all of my horses and I just love it. Pretty sure they love it too. Feel alright? Ah. Yeah. So this first hut that we came to was Cave's hut. It was 7 k's in, but we really wanted to get a bit further than this, so we decided to carry on and possibly make it to Barber's hut, which was another 7 k's along. So we picked up the pace and had a good trot along. Now I'll try and follow you again. Made it to the next hut. This will probably do us for the night. It's getting a bit later than planned. Right, I'm just going to set up a fence for these guys on this bit of terrace down here. Plenty of grass for them, which should keep them happy for the night. Hopefully that'll do the job. And we'll still have horses here in the morning. Alright, do you want to touch it and check that it's working? Decided to leave Chevy on the outside of the fence. He's a bit bossy with the others and he's pretty clingy, so fingers crossed he won't go too far. Let's check out this hut. Should do us just fine. He's
Nice knife.
Because you just do that.
Maybe, yeah.
Back to eating dinner now. We heard a noise, which always makes me nervous with horses, and yeah, open the door and they're right outside the hut. So gone and put them back. I'm not quite sure why that tape was down, but it was the gate that was open, so hopefully it just wasn't latched securely enough and they got out that way. So put them back in and hopefully they now stay there for the night. So how did today compare to walking?
It was easier, but like my ass is weirdly sore.
Yeah, you might be feeling it after 4 days.
No. What is that?
No, you did well. Hey boys, are we gonna stay put tonight? Really hope so. Alright. And good night. Big reveal. Are the horses still there? Yes. Good morning, boys. Coffee and an amazing view. Honestly, what more could you want? It's just perfect. I even brought this little camp chair that I haven't used before. It'll be pretty good. Folds down nice and small. So I never had a chance to introduce these horses all properly yesterday. We were in a bit of a rush trying to get away on time. This here is Chevy. He's the newest addition to my team. I've had him for a few months now. Trying him out to see if he'll fit in, and he's fantastic as a pack horse, but I'm unsure yet if he'll be sticking around on my team or if I'll have to find him another home. But he's lovely. And then this here is Tank. So he's one that I bred myself. He's a 5-year-old now. He's one I'm planning on keeping for my trekking team. He just needs to learn a bit more about how to navigate this kind of country, and he's going to be a really good horse. And this here, Obi, is my stallion. He's not the sire of this one. I was using a different guy before I got Obi. So his oldest are just 3-year-olds now, so they'll be featuring in next year's videos, I'm sure, when I'm starting them under saddle. But he is just the most amazing stallion. He's half Clydesdale, and he's just perfect, really. So quiet, lovely natured. Anyone can ride him. You'd pretty much never know that he's a stallion. He's just amazing. And there we go. That's the current team. Cheering. It really does seem like a lot of gear to have to fit on 3 horses. But it works. Bring the guys in now, take the paddock down, and get packed up and go. Alright, day 2, we are heading off. We've got about another 8 k's on this 4-wheel drive track. Then we'll hit the next hut, and then from there it's going to be a bit more off-roading. And we'll try and make it up to the next hut out at the top Leatham. Good spot on the river here for a snack break. Mostly for the horses, but also for us. Where we're heading, way up the end of the valley there. And we made it to the next hut. This is the Bottom Gordon. Stopping here for a lunch break. Got some sourdough that I baked before we left. Cheese, peanut butter. Alright, well that's the end of our 4-wheel drive track, so now the real adventure begins. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit rough, but it's very fun. You don't have to hop off it. Get away. Good. I feel like I'm gonna fall in. Yeah. Alright. First obstacle. Oh god, there's just branches down. Yeah, this might really not be doable at all. Hey, it's a horseshoe on that marker. Do you reckon we follow that? I mean, we can't, there's branches down, we'd have to cut them to go that way. Oh, we'll aim for that marker. Okay, well that looks like a horse route, so I guess we're trying that. I'll get on for this. Alright, we'll just go slow and careful, but you get up that bit and then we'll see what we see. Does it look a bit better, does it?
Be happy with this.
Oh, there's even a paddock here. Oh, I didn't know about that. Cool. It just depends on how overgrown it all is, because yet we couldn't even get up that first bit of the hill. There were
Because of what you saw.
branches. Well, they're just little ones, they'll be easy enough to clear up, but
Yeah.
it's going to be a real mission if it's a lot of that. So,
You want to check the fence out? We could put them in here and then
just go on foot, do you think? Yeah, that might just be easiest. Well, it's a decent paddock, so that's a bonus. I think we'll just leave the horses here and go for a look on foot. Whether we come back and get them and go further, or we'll just camp here for the night. We'll see. Well, it's a bit disappointing to have been stopped so soon, but that track was really rough and I could just see a whole lot of trees down ahead of us and drop down to a cliff below us, so it just seemed like it could be asking for trouble trying to take 3 horses along that, especially one with a pack horse. So luckily we had this paddock here. Now we'll set off on foot back across the river, so we'll try clear some of this track out and then maybe be able to go out a bit tomorrow. Otherwise I'll just have to come back some other time, which, you know, would be really horrible. Will the Crocs make it? Nice! Woo! Get us cold! Bit of work to do. We'll walk first and then start on these on the way back if we decide it's worth doing. Yeah, this part's not the easiest going. Don't know that horses will get over that too easy. Possibly need to just be travelling up the river for this point, which is also not the easiest, but it is doable. And the track carries on just up the hill over there. So what are we eating, Tim?
Douglas fir.
And how's it going?
It's not really working out.
So why are we trying to eat it?
Well, it's supposed to be edible. I'm just not winning.
He's mad. Right, Tim's carrying on back. He'll go set up camp. And I'll get started clearing. Got it! And that should do us. Should be able to get through tomorrow. And horse paddock's just over there. There's a nice flat bit here for us to camp in, so set up the tent here. Ta-da! Right, now that I've got the tent all set up, we'll go check on how Tim's doing. He was just getting his fly up to cover all of our gear. I'm incredibly lucky that we get on so well and we're able to do this kind of thing together, but you never want to be in a rush with him because man is he slow. Hopefully he's almost done. Looks like he might be packing enough under there now. He'll be looking. Well, that should do nicely to cover our gear. Sitting down relaxing now, having a cup of tea, and then we'll get dinner cooking. Our plan tomorrow, now that we've cleared enough of that track to get the horses through at least the first part, we'll go make it as far as we can, hopefully get to the hut, but then have to start heading back this way for the night. Unfortunately, we're a day behind by staying here and I don't have an extra night to stay out there. Grab our gear that we've left here and start going home. Frosty start this morning. It did get pretty cold last night. Breakfast burritos. Alright, day 3. Decided to ride Chevy today since we don't have the packs on. We'll give him a go. Just head down to the river, let the horses have a drink, and then we'll be off. I've kind of accepted that we probably won't make it to the end of the valley where I wanted today, but that's fine. We'll just head out for a couple of hours, see where we get to, and then come back. We left camp set up here so that we can possibly just come back and stay here for the night depending on how we're going for time. If we're early enough, then we'll pack up and head further down the valley. Otherwise we'll just ride the whole way out tomorrow. The biggest challenge today is probably going to be having Tank loose because I feel like he will be an absolute pest. Probably could have done with trimming some of these things up a bit higher, but hey, just wait right there so that Tank can try follow you. Too late. Because don't you try to go under, are you smart enough? Go bud. No, no, no. Oh my gosh, no, Tank. Yeah, there you go. Would you come back, Tim? You might have to come and do that again.
Can I turn around right now?
Yeah, you can spin there. Oh, not the brightest. Good boy. That's the way to. Okay, keep moving. Come on, Tank, you can do it. Got there. Alright, that's past the section that we cleared yesterday. So you get back down to the river here and that track is all very washed out, but I had a look yesterday and we can cross the river on the flats here, and I think there's sort of a bit of a track that goes through the trees on that side, otherwise we'll just go up the river. But yeah, this bit here is where that whole shingle scree has washed out the track, so definitely not horse friendly. Much more sensible. Obi, I don't want to walk this. Oh my god, Tank! And then this Tank who just goes straight off the rocks. Alright, hopefully this isn't all too overgrown in here. And it gets right through. Just go down river a touch and come back to it. Come on, follow. Good boy. Made it. So this is about where we made it to yesterday. Walking track heads round the side. We'll just cut across the river and meet up with the track. I can see a marker right on the other side over there. Does it show up? Oh yeah, there it is. So to people from overseas, riding through a valley like this full of pine trees, it might look perfectly normal, but here in New Zealand this is not something that you normally see, so it's quite a shock actually by how much these pines have taken over, because they're an invasive species here in New Zealand, and if they're not kept under control, I mean, they just spread like this, and really they just take over all the native bush that's out here. And I imagine it's only going to get worse as we head further up the valley. I used to live in the States, and riding through these pine trees like this just really makes me feel like I'm back over there.
Don't break my bags.
There's been a lot of rain come down here. Hard going on the horses, having to walk up these rocks, but I think if we went up the sides we'd end up getting bluffed out in places where the water's caved the track away. Yeah, lean back. He can go whatever way he wants, just keep going. Come on.
Good stuff. What a tense spot.
Yeah, wouldn't this be good to camp on? We're just really going to have to come back. So many great spots for camping out here. I wish we had more time. It's a bit disappointing that I've got to be home tomorrow. Pretty good lunch spot here. Plenty of grass for the horses. What are you watching? Horses have been on quite high alert through here. I'm guessing there's a wild animal around. There's bound to be plenty of deer and pigs all through here. Oh, I think we might have reached the end. We weren't on any of the walking tracks here. We'd gone up this hill to have lunch and just thought we'd see if we could carry on that way, but it did end, so we had to backtrack, get back down on the river for a bit, and then we joined up onto the proper walking track on the true right hand side of the river. Oh, I'm getting quite overgrown in here.
It really is.
Hopefully we can make it through.
Or at the very least,
Or turn around, yeah. Good boy, go slow. Oh shit, whacked my leg out. Good man, very good. It's a pretty thick pine forest all through here, but luckily so far there's been no trees in our way. A few old things that have been cleared and you can get around them or over them, but nothing recent, so we're doing good. I was too worried about trying to get Tim on his horse through the stream that I fully slipped trying to walk and lead my horse through. Absolutely arsed up in it. Oh, and man, that hurt too. I'm not feeling too great right now. I'm taking a minute. Have some cold water. Try to recover. Well, I think I can walk. I should be fine, but ow! We'll just carry on foot through this stretch. She's a bit tight. It's a bit of a drop down here. It's still perfectly doable. We'll walk my leg off. Hopefully it'll stop hurting. bit dodge. Made it.
It's a bit challenging when it's narrow.
Yeah, narrow's not the best. Boys. Yeah, he joined in back there. The track's still pretty narrow and rough through here, and Tim's not quite experienced enough, so we might just pull the pin here and start going back. Otherwise it was another K before we came back out on the river going this way, and it's hard to know what it's like. So yeah, I guess that's us for our journey up the Leatham. Stop. Well, Tank and Chevy have certainly never done tracks like this before, so it has been a good effort for them. They have been doing really well. Bit rocky. Can't ride under that one. You're going, sorry, stick in your face, good boy. I am in a fair bit of pain, and I do hope my leg isn't going to be too bad. One thing's for sure is that these horses are going to be going home a lot more sure-footed than they came out here, because this has been pretty rough going out on these riverbeds and banks and everything. I've been really impressed that these hoof boots, the scoot boots, have stayed on this whole time, because again, they've been through the ringer out here and they have stayed put. I thought I was going to lose some of them, but they're all still on. So yeah, give them a 5-star rating. And we're almost back now, so we'll definitely be staying in the same spot tonight. We're going to be pretty late. So I had told myself I wouldn't be the type of girl to get my ass out on camera, but I think for this I can make an exception. So that's where I fell today. Is, you know, it's kind of sore. Might hurt tomorrow. I was a bit disappointed that the swelling didn't actually show up on the video, so brace yourself and I will show you what my leg looked like 2 days later. Alright, day 4. It's not quite as cold today. We didn't have much of a frost this morning. Just getting all packed up now, and then we'll make the 22k ride back up the road to the vehicle. And basic rundown of this trip is that we did not have enough time, and I really do need to come back in here, but it was pretty slow going once we got off the 4-wheel drive track. So much water has been out here that it's really made a lot of these crossings difficult, washed out tracks and everything. So hopefully it's all doable, but yeah, I'll have to come back another time, try head up the top of this valley, head up the top of that valley. Really did not make it anywhere near as far as I'd hoped, but it's just stunning in here, so it is not a bad thing having to come back. Alright, well Tim's just off getting some water for us, and then we've got to load the packs on and we're all set to go. So if you've made it this far, thanks so much for watching, and if you have any questions about anything then ask away. And it's been such a bonus having these horse paddocks here, so huge thanks to the Horse Trails Trust that has done this work out here. It's just makes it so amazing for us horse riders to come out and enjoy it. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.